hear ye, come one, come all. The legendary Knights of the Nerd-O-Roundtable are back in full effect. Yours truly, King Nerd-Magnificent Wallace Sharp in the building, although I cannot hear myself and I do not know what is going on with my connectivity. But as I work this out, I see Tom is talking Cunningham in the building. How you doing, good sir?
I am well, buddy. Glad to be
Tom
back.
Talking to me.
I am talking to you. We're so glad to
have no audio.
We're off to a great start.
I'm going to throw it off to Twitch Master McBain.
All their children.
I got my audio. Hey, look, I love it. Twitch Master Ryan McBain in the building. I love it.
Yes.
My peoples. Dr. Liz from the freeway.
Hi, everyone.
And in the dark, looking like Batman, Mo Kelly.
I'm back, y'all. I'm back.
Yeah, man. Look, as always, shouts out to Dr. Liz for being on us to come back. Dr. Liz is the main principal member of the round table who is like, look, y'all, the peoples have been demanding. The peoples are out there crying for more blurred-ism. And yes, Dr. Liz, you can let all your peoples know we are officially back, and back in a big way. What better way to come back with the legendary Knights of the Nerd-O-Roundtable than with two of the most significant things that we have borne witness to on both television and the big screen, with Daredevil Born Again, all the oh my godness that goes along with that, and Sinners, a tour de force in film making. I am still reeling from the impact of seeing Sinners, and wow, chills, goosebumps, all of that. Where do we want to start? Sinners it is.
I was just about to say, because I told y'all in the chat, I still have not finished, so I'm gonna go in a corner to the la fingers in my ears while I talk about Daredevil. But Sinners, I will say, just right off rip, for Ryan Coogler to be as young as he is, he has not had any failures. He has done a phenomenal job. And I think what is even more impressive when you think about directors like Scorsese, who spent the early years of their career focusing on one particular genre, like Scorsese was a street level crime and gritty kind of dramas or whatever, and Woody Allen was urbane, grown up, sexy kind of comedies of errors, whatever. He has done a biopic about a substantive topic in Fruitvale Station. He's done a superhero movie in Black Panther, a superhero sequel in Wakanda Forever. He's done a sports movie via boxing in Creed. And every time now he's in this genre movie with the vampires, but there's always something extra. He is a true ethnographer, and he pours something extra. And the thing that was extra in this movie were parallels between blues and the church, and looking at the South and plantation and sharecropping culture, and also looking into some of the racial dynamics, but not swimming in the racial dynamics, anchored by powerful performances really from everybody. Delroy Lindo was amazing. Wunmi is amazing. Michael B. Jordan is twins. Haley Stanfield. I mean,
right.
It's really, really, really an amazing film. I will say I'm pushing back a little bit on the hype that this is his best movie ever. I don't happen to agree with that. But like always, Coogler has done a spectacular job. And every time he's working with Michael B. Jordan, you know there's going to be magic. And it was amazing.
So then what would be his best movie then? If you don't think this is, what would be the best?
Creed 1. Creed 1.
Maybe. The reason why I believe people are saying this is his best film yet is because of all the lessons he's learned in filmmaking. This is not the best film yet based on, say, story or action or something. This is the best film he's made yet because he has learned so many lessons from all the other films he's made to say, hey, when I get to this point of the film, I have to make sure I'm shoring up my story. I have to make sure I pay off everything that I tell in the story. I have to make sure when I'm shooting at night that you can actually see what I'm doing, as opposed to Wakanda Forever, where we could see none of the night scenes. You know, when you look at something like...
I think he did that on purpose.
He didn't do Wakanda Forever.
Huh?
He didn't do Wakanda Forever.
What? He didn't do what?
Yes, he did.
I don't think he was...
Yeah, he
was
did.
he the director for
Yes.
Wakanda
Yeah,
Forever?
he did.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It broke his
He
heart.
wrote and directed it.
Did it.
Yeah. That was
I think he
absolutely
did.
his
I
picture.
think he, but see, I think he did the night scene so that you wouldn't see much. I think he did that on purpose, though.
He might have, but that was a big drawback from the overall movie going experience. And this is something that he was critiqued on a lot. I'm talking about all the things that people have critiqued him on in his filmmaking, and there have always been small things. You know, you got to work on this, that, or the other. And I think when it comes to something like Sinners, he has learned all of these techniques, and he has taken all of the criticism from his filmmaking style and has honed it to perfection in this film. This may not be his best film that we all like, but as far as a filmmaker, this is the most succinct film that he has done, and it is flawless on all ends in that sense. But I mean, like, again, for me, as just a film alone, and I talked with Mo about this on Later with Mo Kelly. After watching this film, I literally sat in the theater for 10 minutes and I just had my head in my sweater and I was sobbing. I did not expect for this film to hit me on a personal level the way that it did. I mean, it hit me, and it was emotional on a surreal level. It almost hurt. It took me back to my grandmother and all the stories that she would tell me about growing up in the South, the daughter of a sharecropper. My family in Texas at that exact time that this film was filmed. Big Mama and Big Daddy, they were sharecropping in Fort Worth, Texas. My grandmother grew up on this farm and experienced this life. So when I watched this film, I instantly was taken back. I swear it felt like my grandmother was sitting next to me and telling me, like, baby, it used to be like this, and this is what it was, and this is how we were to each other. Seeing this Black environment that he created, this small enclave, this town that he created, that without putting it in your face was a thriving, successful Black town, where sharecropping was the way of life, but it wasn't some step and fetching, slave story that we're used to. He was like, no, these people are empowered. And he didn't have to beat us over the head with the racial undertone of the Klan and all the issues that these farmers were dealing with at that time. He made it very, very clear in the story without even having to say it. So one of those, like, looking at the screen, like, if you Black, you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying. And I knew what he was saying throughout the entire effing film. I mean, I was taken to a place in filmmaking that I don't always go. Some people are saying, it may have been too long in the tooth. The entire time I'm watching this film, I was growing as the story was growing. This film was almost taking place in real time, that it's like, it's a slow burn. And when you get to that fire, oh shit, man. That fire was lit. Absolutely lit.
You need some tissues, Twala?
Some lotion?
Well, I think that, like, because I do feel like Fruitvale Station, when I watched that, like, that was gut wrenching. Like, at the end, I mean, it was so gut wrenching. I know that I'm in the minority here. I thought that the more that I watch Wakanda Forever, the more I appreciate it even more. And to even know that right after Black Panther premiered, Chadwick Boseman was already researching for Wakanda Forever. So I just feel like that there was a lot more, and that's what I think I appreciated Ryan Coogler as a whole. It's the details, like the money, that the conversation about how they're getting paid in, not just in currency, but the majority of their money is actually coming from plantation money. And that's something that I don't recall any film talking about them getting paid in plantation money. And just that concept, that double-edged sword. I have to say though, another filmmaker, I don't know who did it. I have to look it up again. But I know that a lot of people are thinking a lot of his cinematography, which I think is absolutely amazing. And I think it was on par with if you ever see Nickel Boys, gut-wrenching movie, and loosely based on a true story. But the Nickel Boys, the cinematography in that is stunning. And so I think it is really interesting to see that, to see filmmakers like him, Jordan Peele, that are making such enriching films that are so detailed.
And we are moving past that. I believe wholeheartedly we're moving past that Negro, you can't do that movie phase where even Black filmmakers are confident enough to be able to tell these stories and tell them with no compunction about how any certain audience may react. They're just like, we are going to tell these stories and you're going to take these stories. And that's what it is. And I think that we are moving further past those stories of our triumphs only in the face of pure trauma porn that are actually going to be able to elevate our stories writ large. We have to have stories where every single thing about our success is not based on drug abuse, on the bullwhip, or some other horrific thing that we had to overcome to be recognized, sort of, kinda. I think that we are moving into a space of filmmaking for African American filmmakers, actors, even behind the scenes and below the line, craftspeople, where we are taking this level of control and ownership of what we do. And it is just a beautiful thing to see. I love every single thing about what a movie like this even stands for, beyond all of the history he packed into this film without popping up in the middle of the screen saying message. I mean, it's deep to see. It is really, really, really deep to see. And, again, bravo to the actors. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, when you think he's playing twins, that could instantaneously have gone the wrong way. But he gave us such subtle, nuanced characterizations to each of the characters he played between Smoke and Stack that before you knew it, you were thinking that they were different people, that because he knew enough to have, one standing upright and straight all the time, while another had that kind of, I will jump on you kind of slouch. You had one who held his mouth in a certain way of like, I've always got a toothpick or a cigarette in my mouth, while the other kind of held his chin tight, and was always at the ready. Little things like that. I was like, this is some dynamic ass acting when it comes to being the same person playing two entirely different people. And the reverence that one twin had for another, like those little things, I was like, wow, man, that alone is genius level filmmaking and acting by this crew. I right now, anything that these two do, they get my money sight unseen. Sight unseen, they got my money without a doubt. And I love how Ryan Coogler in every interview is so hood rich. I just bravo to that young brother for just like, everywhere I go, the hood is coming with me. And I love that shit. I love it. Absolutely. Mo, have you seen Sinners yet?
No, I haven't had a chance. I just haven't had the time. Hopefully we'll see it tomorrow as part of my Easter weekend.
It is a film that's got Easter, ties.
Yeah.
You can definitely take it in on Easter Sunday. Absolutely.
Well, can I say too, I think that Mo, you'll probably have a similar reaction simply because of the music scene and your history in working in music. But I will say this is like the reaction that I had when the first time I saw Black Panther, when Sherry says, "Hello, colonizer," or something to that,
Yep.
calls him a
Mhm.
colonizer.
Mhm.
It was the same reaction that I had in this film. Well, even Wakanda Forever, when I was like, oh my gosh, you're dealing with colonialism. When when he walks out and he's going to and he kills everyone on the plantation because he wants to bury his mom. I was like, I can't believe you went there. And it's the same thing in here, where over and over again, I was like, I can't believe he even went here.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're
Yeah.
able to put this in a popular film that is widely seen, it's like, I can't believe it. And then that some of this is going to fly over the heads of everyone. There's the history of vampires anyway.
Mhm.
And then to recreate vampires, it made me think of a movie I like, but I'm not sure how many of you like, Lincoln and the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, Abe Lincoln Vampire Slayer? Yes.
Yeah, the conversation of making the Confederates vampires. And it's that same kind of it made me think of that concept more so. I know people are talking about it's more like, what is it? The day of what do they call that?
It is nothing like From Dusk to Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn,
The
There
only
we go.
comparison is that From Dusk to Dawn had a bar. This film has a juke joint. And vampires played a role in both. That is where it ends. From Dusk to Dawn was a horror comedy at best. And it may have tried to take a new, fresh take on vampires, but this is beyond that. Even as you said, the history of vampires or spirits alone, and how they approach this to me, it's one of those films that, to your point, Liz, this film was very, very black and unapologetically so. Mm-hmm. But it still allowed everyone else to come in and watch. It said, hey, no. Everyone can watch this film, but this is a black film.
Could I interject one thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but for me, the way I approach it is, and this dovetails on what you were saying, Tuala, I'm happy that cinema has gotten to the point where we can tell black stories that don't have to do with pathology, that don't have to do with slavery, that don't have to do with segregation. Now, this might have been set during a period in which there was segregation, but it's not necessarily about segregation. And as much as I had criticized Tyler Perry in the past, and I've been of two minds with him, and I can appreciate what he's done for the black community, he's not grown as a creator, but I can appreciate what he's done in his personal work and his charitable contributions. What this movie says to me is, if you tell a great story, it doesn't matter who is leading the cast or that it's from a black perspective. Let me give you an example. I Am Legend is not a black movie, even though you have a black lead, and you can say it's quasi-vampire, tangentially related. Mm-hmm. But when you have Sinners, you're telling it from a specifically and definitely black perspective, and it's through our eyes. And we can just say it's a great story, not a black story.
Absolutely.
One of the things,
but it's also a Southern story. And that's what I like the most, because it deals with the diversity aspect of the South right after the Reconstruction and after slavery, because they were specifically bringing in Chinese to work on plantations. So when you had that intersection of Chinese, I was like, oh my God. And then when you had Native Americans present, I was like, oh my God. So then it really it has to redefine how people are believing that the South is black and white. It's not black and white.
Very good point. Very good point.
I think one of the things that impressed me most about his filmmaking on this was, right off the bat, he establishes that the movie is going to take place over a single cinematic day. So you go into the theater, and within 3 minutes you see, oh damn, okay, so this is how it ends. And so we're about to see how it begins. And because it's coming, even though it's a bit of a slow burn, part of the way that it burns you in your seat is that you know it's coming. Every moment in the movie pushes you toward the confrontation. So you're sitting there and it's like, oh, it's nice to see how he hired Delroy Lindo, and it's nice to see where he went in to see the baby and all these other sorts of things. But you know it's coming, and it just keeps turning and turning and turning. And one of the things that I really liked is whenever you have a character, and he's done it with Michael B. Jordan a couple of times, but you have a character who gets to achieve his heart's desire and connect with people that he thought he would not have a chance to connect with. And I think probably, Tuala, that was one of the scenes that prompted you to tears, because it was really amazing. And also, in a Django Unchained way, there's a very satisfying showdown that I won't get into. But you think it might go one way, and since the antagonist is a white vampire, you think maybe that might have something to do with it. But there's even a twist there. It's not what you would expect.
Yes.
And I found that to be very interesting, because at the end, he's almost a little sympathetic. There are more than a few echoes of Eric Killmonger in this Irish vampire.
Yeah. The villain in this film is not as cut and dry, and it's not necessarily about being a quote unquote bad guy, or the vampires are not villains in this film. The vampires are a thing. The vampires are almost a subset of society, of humanity, and it's very weird how he does one of those, like, oh, I don't know if I feel as bad about vampires as I did walking into the film. It's like this is not where this is, good guys versus vampires. It's not that. It's not that at all.
It's more subtle than that.
Yeah, this is a love letter to the South, and these are the characters, and these are the things that drive the story. But yes, and definitely want to get into Daredevil Born Again, but gotta let people know there are 2 end credit scenes, and the second end credit scene, I know some people were like, I don't get it, and if you didn't get it, rewatch the first end credit scene so you can see why the second end credit scene, what actually happened. If you're watching the film, you know what happens, and you'll see why it was such a beautiful end credit scene. Will not spoil it, but damn, that second end credit scene, I was in there just clapping like, yeah, chef's kiss.
We're not focusing on going backwards, but I will say this is one of my major reasons why I strongly feel like he's able to do something with a very large budget, with a very small budget, and do something so beautiful. And one of my biggest takeaways, even from when we all watched Civil War together, most of us, was not Civil War, the new Captain America, was that I would have loved to see what he would have done with this kind of a budget. It wasn't as much as Wakanda Forever, but I think he would have done something beautiful on a shoestring budget, just because of the level of care he has. And that's, it's nice to see someone who cares about their craft.
Who is a student of making film. Tom, look, I'm not going to go super hard on the spoiler, so you shouldn't need too much line for.
Well, I am. You should have seen it by now.
Look, let me tell you this: Daredevil Born Again is a series that we have anxiously been anticipating. One, because of our love affair with the Daredevil Netflix series. It was by far one of the best things Marvel has ever done on television. 3 complete seasons of absolute awesome ass kicking. And that's something that not every Marvel television show or film can say. But Daredevil was that one series that was consistently on fire. When it's coming over to the Disney Plus channel, the anticipation is not just excitement for wanting to see it, but also anticipation for, damn, is the house the mouse built going to F this entire series up? Are they
almost
going
did
to dumb it down? And fortunately, they did not. They absolutely excelled and exceeded all expectations with having 9, actually, I'm going to say 8 superior episodes. That one, the Day at the Courthouse episode, for me, that was not necessarily needed. We didn't need that. I know a lot of real hardcore Matt Murdock fans love seeing him being Matt Murdock and saving the day in the bank and all that. That's cool, but that episode had literally nothing to do with the series as a whole. And that's why they played 2 episodes that day, because they knew that that bank episode would not have done it. People may have checked out. Okay. But from beginning to end, I mean, Ryan, you asked if I needed, some Vaseline or even some tissue. Yes, for Daredevil.
Oh,
By the time I got to the end, I mean, like, my whole body was spent. I let it all out on the screen, and it was, geez Louise, man.
What? Huh?
Hey, look, it was Excelsior for Daredevil Born Again. Love that effing series. Yeah. And I can't wait for the Punisher one shot, because everyone's like, we wanted more Frank, we wanted more Punisher punishing. He has said, when you see what happens in this series and you see the end credit scene in the final episode, just know that leads right into my one shot, where we're doing a special singular episode, almost a short movie for the Punisher, where I am punishing, and I'm going to be punishing for the entire hour. Get ready for some blood. But yes,
is that coming? When is that coming out? This year or next year?
It's coming out next year. It comes out in between this season and the next season, which is March of 2026. The Punisher one shot is supposed to come out towards the top of 2026 as a, hey, this is where the Punisher went after that end credit scene.
They tried very, very, very hard to ruin this, because in the beginning, it was not going to be connected to the Netflix universe. It was going to be like 18 episodes. There was going to be no Foggy, no Karen. It was going to be mostly like a courtroom drama.
Yep.
And Daredevil didn't even show up until the 4th episode. Then the writer's strike happened. Kevin Feige sat down and was watching what they were doing, because they filmed 6 episodes. And then he was like, nah, this ain't it. They finally came to their senses, fired that team, got a new team, and said, we're going to connect it to the Netflix universe. That's why some things seem kind of out of place. Because they were still using the 6 episode footage that was already filmed. So they had to work around that and also connect it to the Netflix universe. They did a really, really good job. You can tell like who was writing who, because all like the reshoots were with Punisher, because originally the actor John Bernthal, he quit the show. He's like, I'm not doing this shit. They had to beg him to come back. Not only that, they said, please come back and we'll give you creative control of your character. So he was like, okay, I will come back. That's why all his scenes are so good.
Okay.
So good. I gotta say, without spoiling too much, even though I should spoiler, because Tom, you should watch this shit. It's good shit, Tom.
It is good shit.
All the interactions with Frank and Matt are just beautiful. They're fucking either hilarious or it's sad. And that 6 minutes when Matt is looking for Frank, he finds him and they talk for that 6 minutes. I put that 6 minutes up against any fucking thing comic book related. It wasn't even a fucking dialogue. It was a fucking symphony.
Yeah.
It was goddamn just amazing.
Yep.
When Frank said, so now what? Every day, Bullseye goes to the chow line, eats the slop. You know he gets to breathe the same air as you breathe. You feel good about that? Matt goes, he got life. He's crying almost. Basically, actually, he is crying. Punisher looks at him. He goes, how about Foggy? You get life? That I was like, shit, dude. Yeah. At that point, I was like, dude, leave this man alone. He's fucking crying. It made me feel bad. That 6 minutes is fucking amazing.
Yeah. How about old Foggy? How about old Foggy, man? He get life?
Wait. Can I jump in here? Obviously, this is the disconnect between the Netflix and the Disney universe, because they didn't care about Foggy. They didn't care about Karen. They were there, but they weren't really there. They killed off Foggy. Sorry, spoiler alert. And Karen really didn't have any role in this season. So they're basically they're separating themselves from the Netflix universe. And I'm okay with that. But it's really not a continuation, with the exception of some story threads.
Back to that point, Mo, there's some small criticisms that I have. For instance, the cop, the retired cop that's working with Matt, that should have been Officer Mahoney from the first 3 seasons of Daredevil.
Right, right.
Not only that, because like here's the thing. They're telling us that they were friends for a long time. Well, we didn't see that shit. That's all Mahoney right there. You had a great opportunity to use that actor. I don't know if it was because the old writing team didn't bring him in. I don't know what happened there. 2, where the fuck is Matt's mother? At the end of season 3, no, she's still, because he mentions her once. At the end of season 3, he pretty much like asks, can I come to you for guidance? And she says yes. So that's kind of had me kind of scratching my head, a little bit of a disconnect there. Those are my only 2 main criticisms. That, and also I know they kind of touched on how Kingpin got out of jail. That was kind of weak, since they had all this fucking evidence against him.
Yeah.
I can't stand Matt's girlfriend. Yeah, I can't stand Matt's girlfriend in a good way. She's fucking annoying, but in a good way. Her acting's fine, but when Matt said Daredevil saved your life, and she goes, "Oh, I saved my life." Motherfucker, no, you did not.
Where'd that happen? She's not supposed to be a sympathetic character, I don't think.
I know. But that's why, she just drives my nerves. It's like Homelander. I don't fucking like you, but you're making me watch because I fucking hate you so much. So,
but she has to, Twala, I want your thoughts on this. She has to be a plant, because I don't believe it was just kismet that she ended up, with Kingpin and Vanessa, and also dating Matt. I mean, I think Vanessa placed her to date Matt because she knew Matt's identity.
Absolutely. She didn't just happen to place, a therapist who's also researching the sociopathic nature of vigilantes and vigilantism, all that's not by mistake, and it does play out in a very, very tragic way in the next season. Even the actress has confirmed, like, yes, for those who know the comic book, what happens to her in the comic book happens to her in this series. It's very, very bad. It's very bad.
So I have to say that the only thing that I didn't like is at the end, I just would have when they're going, I just would have felt that this would have been a great time to introduce some other vigilantes.
Well, they did. Swordsman.
Right. White Tiger.
Yeah.
Even
his niece. So, right. You're talking about the Defenders, which I understand. I totally agree with you. Also, this is probably the biggest criticism I have. And I understand why they're doing this, or why they can't do it. All of New York is burning. You have to have a good explanation why Spider-Man is not there somehow. You have to say something. Yeah. You have to address it. They can't even say the name Spider-Man. They can't even say the name Spider-Man because it's owned by Sony. Now they can mention him with subtle hints. And I think they did that in the first or second episode. Where Kingpin says there's a man running around in a Spider-Man outfit, or a
spider suit or something like that.
Yeah, a spider suit or something like that. They can hint towards it, but they're gonna have to, I don't know, give Sony some money or something.
Yeah, but even still, because when you have Murdoch who shows up in the last Spider-Man movie, and so when you already have him crossover, it's just even weirder that the whole place is even more, New York is absolutely even more in turmoil. And And then I guess you can try to explain it a little bit by the fact of how Spider-Man ends last time, to where no one is supposed to remember him and he's back to wearing the tacky little Spider-Man outfit.
No one knows
So
Peter
then
Parker,
maybe
but people know
Parker,
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying, I think that you
tough.
can try to.
That one's going to be tough because still the contract as it stands, or the deal between Sony and Marvel Studios, is that Marvel Studios has the rights to include Spider-Man in films. They do not have the right to include Spider-Man in any television
TV
or live action TV. They don't have those rights
unless they buy them, unless they work out a deal.
Yeah, unless they work out a deal. Now, if they want to work out another deal and try to go back to the drawing board and get some more money going, they can. But I think by the time this series comes back, and this is the hope and the prayer. The hope and the prayer is that they've done the right thing and they're bringing back all of the Defenders. They bring back Luke Cage, if they bring back Iron Fist and Jessica Jones, they bring back all those characters that Daredevil actually knows, especially because he's like, we need an army. It sure enough better not be that ragtag group of bartenders, cop and a retired. It better not be them that's saving the city. I don't even care if he teams up with swordsmen. And they better not be a bunch of no name. Don't bring in other
cosplay players
access to
Hawkeye.
Right. Don't do that. Don't do some shit like
Hawkeye
that.
is available. Because isn't she in New York too?
Yeah,
like there's a lot of people in New York that he can use. There's a lot of people now.
Half the young Avengers are in New York.
Yes, and they will likely bring back Echo. But if they don't give us Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and all these other, if they don't give us those characters to come back, and this is just Matt Murdock rallying the people, and I mean the actual people, Joe and Blow Smith who live next door, that's going to be some bullshit. That's going to be something that makes everyone say, burn this series to the ground. They had better come back with some fire.
I only had one real critique of the series, and it had to do with the bank heist episode.
Yeah,
Tom, have you seen this one yet? Before I go too far.
Jesus Christ, Tom, why don't you unmute yourself?
Tom's
on mute. Go ahead.
Okay. When you have the bank heist episode, you have this fan servicing of Ms. Marvel.
Yep,
that's fine. But they don't pay it off, and it doesn't have anything to do with the season.
Yeah, that's the old writing team.
One or the other.
Yeah,
I need one or the other. Pay it off, or have it be relevant to the season story arc.
Yeah.
It was neither, so I don't need the episode. Was Matt Murdock Daredeviling in that episode? Yes, that was cool. You got a sense of his skills and how his super senses work. I appreciated that. But when you throw in a character from Ms. Marvel and you don't have it go anywhere, that's what pisses me off. It's like, give it to us or not.
That's why that writing team was fired.
Yeah, don't allude to there being a possible dinner, at some point, and then you just skip. You act like the rest of the season acted as if that entire episode didn't happen.
That never happened.
I think they would.
Where's Miss Marvel?
Yeah, I think they came right after episode 4 with that great scene with the Punisher. So you're thinking Punisher. I think they'd have been better off just scrapping what the old writing team did and just starting from scratch and connected to the Netflix series. And I think they would have been fine.
Yeah. It definitely could have done a lot more if they would have just stopped for a second and said, hey, when Mr. Feige said this wasn't working, he didn't mean to just pick up at this point and go. That throws everything off. That makes the series seem weird. It makes it not connect. He meant, give me Daredevil, give me Kingpin, give me Punisher, damn it, the way that they're supposed to be seen. Now, they gave us Frank Castle in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
It feels like Miss Marvel and characters must trend highly because they keep throwing Miss Marvel alludes and all over the place.
All over the place.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just trying to figure out. And I like Miss Marvel, so I'm not complaining. But I'm just curious that they keep throwing her around,
well, they're throwing her around and they're throwing her name around because, and this was after, I can't remember which one of the big events it wasn't. I think it may be even D23 that just happened, that she is going to be a central point for the future of the franchise. She is someone who is bringing the young Avengers together. She is, as we saw in the Hawkeye series, as we saw in, I can't remember which other film, she's the one that's going around, Captain Marvel 2, yes. She's the one going around collecting the young Avengers. So that's why they keep wanting to make sure that she's top of mind. The Daredevil inclusion was a weird way to do it. Don't know if that fit at all. That was almost like, hey, we have to throw in a Miss Marvel drop, almost like, when Mo is on the air and he has to throw in a liner that has nothing to do with the show, and we're just, in the groove, and it's like Mo has to say, hey, before I forget, I've got to say, and then blah 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 blah. It's like, yes, that's the obligatory Miss Marvel live read. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, you got to throw in Miss Marvel.
I also think that they really wasted Muse, not to mention that they totally depowered him.
Yeah.
He's not an Inhuman like he is in the comics, because he's a really powerful Daredevil villain, and his abilities really fucks with Matt, and they just made him just a normal person. He looked great.
Inhuman.
Well, I have to say it. I have to, but I understand your pain. I agree. But I think that he's coming back.
I hope. Yeah. I hope that him dying is what triggered his ability, and he comes back even more vicious and deadly.
No, I think he'll gets his body will get in contact with the mist or something.
Okay. I mean, something has to happen because the way his power works with absorbing all, sensory sound and sensory information, his death may be the thing that triggers that to happen. Although that's still a little weird for a Daredevil series, which seems to want to stay focused on things that are more grounded. They seem to be really avoiding any superhero theatrics, which would kind of be odd to have someone like a Muse in the series. But they damn sure better give us Luke Cage with all his power.
Yes,
they better give us Iron Fist with his fist lighting up and everything else, because you literally have told us come second season they're gonna need an army. And if you don't have an army of actual superpowered vigilantes, we have a problem, Disney.
I loved also Bullseye in this season. How he broke out of prison. How dude, I'm still tripping about the violence and the swearing when he goes, thank you, Counselor. Matt's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck you,
man.
Plus.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Speaking of violence, dude, when people's arms and legs are getting broken, they show that shit, man.
Yep.
Kingpin ripped that dude's head open.
I was like, oh,
I was like, good God, man.
What about the broken leg in the bank scene?
Yeah.
That was horrific. To me, when I said Disney has just said, do you, is when they literally had Frank Castle going through an apartment and chopping up rogue police officers. These weren't just run-of-the-mill bad guys, right? These weren't faceless, nameless bad guys. These were members of a special NYPD police task force that Frank Castle, and he told Matt Murdock, he said, hey, Matt, I'm not going to play patty cake with these guys when they come through that door. I'm chopping them up.
They talk like a married couple. Mercy. That's what they. That's how they talk. When Punisher's trying to egg Daredevil to kill the cop that killed White Tiger, trying to push him. Matt goes, no, I'm not going to do it. And he goes, what? You're going to take a bullet for this guy too? Not him? How about this guy? And he caps the other dude.
Man. Gives him a two-piece. Gives him a straight two-piece, like, pop, pop. And it's like, hey, man, you killed that guy. That's one of those,
it's so funny. Yeah. I love it. But yeah, I was happy. Very, very happy.
Yeah, there's one scene, and when you get to it, Tom, I want to know if you see this. It's in the final
I don't think he
episode
can
where
hear
it's
you.
it's a
Can't hear us.
well, it's fine. Everyone watch again. There's a black and white. It's a black and white scene. It's at night, and there's this white smoke billowing in the air, and Punisher comes up on one cop and gives him some action in his neck, and when it pans back out, you see the blood splatter kind of in the air, and you see this black, white, and red in the background, and I was like, that is one of the most comic book shots that we've seen this. But him, the business that he gave to those cops was absolutely, it was glorious. It was like, dude, yeah, he's given every single one of these officers who've decided to break the law and embody his psychosis, he's given them the business. So yeah, that is it. All right, so we can not go super long and bring Tom back in. Dr. Liz, let me know what it is you are watching. Let the people know.
You know, I finally just finished Moon Girl. And at the end of it, I was just thinking, oh my God, I need Moon Girl to come into the live action immediately. But, well, anyway, I think it's a good show for those of you to watch. But I'm also, as you know, Apple TV Plus has just dropped a couple of shows that I highly recommend. And I will say that there's a lot of shows that I'm trying to get into that I've just been kind of slowly watching. Dope Thief is one of those that I've been slowly watching. And as we all know, Home Duke has the best agent ever because he's in everything. The guy who also plays in that Godzilla, the dude in
Brian Tyree.
Yes.
The man with the best agent in the world.
I can't stand, dude. Golly, he's always working though.
Yes, he is.
He gets a check, man. He gets a check.
But the thing that I'm loving on Apple TV is Your Friends and Neighbors. That is my show that I really, really like on there.
What's that about?
Well, it's about, in short, he's a financial guy. I love how he sums up his life in the first couple of scenes. He's happens to have been wrongly fired. They've been trying to push him out. They found a reason to fire him. He gets fired. They took all his money. I mean, the company withheld his money because of this moral clause. And so now he's pretending like he has money when he's going to run out because he has a non-compete clause, so he can't get hired for another 2 years someplace. And so now he has an ex-wife because his wife cheated on him with his best friend. And so they're broken up, and now he's stealing from his neighbors.
Drama.
Yeah, so it's a cute little show. I enjoy it.
Cute. That don't sound cute.
Yeah, that doesn't sound cute at all. Damn,
that ain't cute.
It's a cute show, and everybody is talking about this one last, and I'm done. Number one on the call sheet. This documentary is a 2-part documentary. Everybody's been talking about it. I find it stunningly amazing. I think it was really good, well done. The first one is about Black men and they're number one on the call sheet, and the second one is about Black women and they're number one on the call sheet. At the end of watching both of them, you will see some stark differences between men and women. And they don't really promote that there's differences. They're just talking about their experiences, and you're like, so you'll sit back and think, my God, like you don't even have to look at the gender bias. It is so in your face. But no one's complaining about the gender bias per se. They're just explaining what it's like to be first on the call sheet and what does that mean. It's a good show.
Interesting. McBain, what you watching?
I'll keep it short and sweet. Reacher and WrestleMania. Thank you.
Nice. Reacher. Yes, absolutely. I've got to watch the finale for Reacher. Love that fucking show. Tom, what's on your watch list?
Welcome back.
Yeah. Every time I saw Ryan's lips moving, I would just mute the whole feed. I know Ryan was in his I don't give a fuck mode. So I'm watching The Residence, which I'm really enjoying. She's the black Hercule Poirot, and just really compelling, interesting visuals, and very Shonda Rhimes-y without her writing or directing it, but it feels like it's very much a part of the Shonda Rhimes universe. Also, finished Reacher, that was great. No, I'm saying her actual universe, like you could imagine the Gladiators coming in or something. Finished Reacher, about to start on Black Mirror. Hello. And The Last of Us. I think they perhaps foreshadowed a bit too much with the pipes in the opening of the scene. But I mean, I'll still watch it. Yeah, The Last of Us. It's obviously very different from the video game, because Ryan was telling us that, an important fact about the second part of the video game.
Yeah,
but that has not yet come to pass.
They said that's not going to happen.
Of course,
I know a lot of people are not too crazy about the casting of Abby. In the game, Abby is like a really, really muscular woman, and like her physique is like a reflection of how angry she is that her father was killed. And but this Abby, she looks like she's like 15. So it's just like, okay, but Joel's gonna die. Okay, just so I'm sorry, people. Spoiler alert. But yeah, he's not gonna die this season, but he's dying soon.
Okay, I haven't bothered to jump on.
In the video game, they kill him like a damn animal too. They whoop his ass. It is dark. They shoot him with a shotgun. She beats him with a club. That's and better yet, they make Ellie watch the whole thing. They like it's so sad.
Well, that show did not end last season in a way that made me say, "Oh man, I can't wait till another season of this show comes out."
And they time jump significantly. I don't know if that's a time jump from the video game, but
a little bit, yeah, they do.
It probably has more to do with the fact that she's 5 years older, and she doesn't look like she's 13 anymore. Or they, I'm sorry, they don't look like they're 13.
They don't look. Yes. What you watching, Mo?
Just gotta let you know, since we haven't done this in a while, Adolescence, you have to see.
Oh,
period.
Yes.
You have to see it.
Wow.
I'm not going to tell you anything. Just have to see it. Thank you to Tom.
Boy children.
Right. Thank you to Tom. I was commiserating with him for The Diplomat. That's something you have to see. I came to that in the second season. I binged both seasons. You got to watch it. We talked about Daredevil. We talked about Reacher in a certain degree. I'm going to start first on the call sheet tonight. That's something I definitely want to watch. And I need to start Black Mirror. So that's what I'm going to be watching tonight, at least.
I still
and G20?
Black Mirror.
No. G20? No. No.
G20 is a no, dog?
It's a no.
G20 is nice.
No. I can't, as a friend, recommend to you this movie. It's Die Hard meets White House Down, but as good as neither. I just can't do it.
As good as neither. Oh man,
I can't.
Look,
I can appreciate Viola Davis. She produced it and everything, and I'm happy for her. But just on the strength of the content, can't do it, dog. I saw it. Can't do it.
Oh man,
her daughter's annoying as shit too.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
Man. Damn.
It's look, all of it is they telegraph everything.
Everything.
There are no surprises.
The main protagonist is Homelander. It's like, hello.
Yes.
Yeah. I know Mo.
Sorry.
I know Mo and I were talking talking offline, and I was saying that there's no way a ragtag group of mercenaries, 10 or 12, could go in and take over what is arguably the most secured event globally, where you have the most trained of the trained watching over dignitaries at the highest level. No 10 or 12, I don't care how well you're trained, you're not going in and taking it over. It's just plausibility is all out the window with it. I know it's a movie, but damn, come on, dog. Yeah, y'all cut down a little bit more.
To be fair, I don't know who's going to be watching it or not, but it wasn't just 10 or 12 mercs.
Okay.
They infiltrated and set shit up. So to the highest levels as well. So it's not as simple as we've got guns and we're done. I mean, they do take out significant portions of the security details right off the bat.
They do.
They also have moles, yeah.
I don't know why they were all in one room, but hey.
Well, there's that part.
See, and again, to me, that's problematic. It's problematic just when you think about something like that. To me, that's like they're falling for the banana in the tailpipe. That's like, it doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Like you're literally saying all of these individuals fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
It's almost like they were corralled into the sewers of a major American city and then dynamited in there and stayed in there for 6 months, but didn't grow any facial hair, and then were eventually able to come out.
Same thing. They had
what you call it?
And Green Berets in one hotel room, not even a suite. One hotel room.
Sharing hot pockets and hotel water.
Shit. You mean like Paradise?
Shit, it's not the microwave.
I mean, so did you guys like Paradise as much as everybody else does?
Yes, I loved it more than everybody else. And Liz, you're wrong.
I was underwhelmed by the ending, since we didn't talk about it, but I enjoyed it.
I mean, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was amazing.
Man, Paradise was just okay.
Liz, you've been wrong about a lot of stuff, so it's okay.
I liked G20.
Paradise was great.
I thought up until the very last episode, when we find out it was the blank all along.
Tom, it's always the penultimate episode is the best episode. Always.
Yes, because the last episode was unwashed hyena ass. But there was a really good moment. There was a real moment in that last episode. That's for damn sure. Because old girl was on one. but
I believe the real villain is the psychologist. She's been puppeteering
the puppet
from the beginning.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, we'll see. I think they got a second season, did they?
Oh, yeah, they sure did.
Okay, all right. We'll see how that one plays out. I know
the Residents gets a second season.
I got to watch the first season. I got to catch up on Black Mirror. There's a lot of shit I got to catch up on. The only thing I've been able to watch is Daredevil and Sinners outside of my anime, Solo Leveling, Sakamoto Days, all the shows that I watch. Fire Force is back. One Piece Vigilantes. Not One Piece Vigilantes. One Piece is back. They've returned to Egg Island. Those are back up. But also My Hero Academia Vigilantes is up and running. So I'm just me. Tonight when we get off right now, I'll be heading straight to Crunchyroll to catch up on all of my anime because that's just
there is currently an anime convention.
Yes. No. I'm supposed to be going there tomorrow, maybe.
The weirdest costumes. I was like, who are these people and what are we doing?
Yeah, no, it's major. It's such a major thing. But I love it. I'm immersed in it, and that's where I spend most of my time when I am able to watch anything. It's Saturday nights when I'm catching up on that, or those days which I literally brutalize myself and stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning so I can catch Daredevil or something that we're going to be discussing. But speaking of when we return, it will be with Thunderbolts. We'll be back with some Thunderbolts action. We have lots of Thunderbolting to see, and that's going to be very, very dope. We'll also have some Andor up by then. Andor is going to be dropping next week with 3 episodes back to back, and every subsequent episode of Andor or arc that episode Andor drops will have a full 3 episodes. So they're dropping mini movies with each week. Because
hopefully those first 3 episodes aren't as slow as the last season. So just saying.
Okay.
No, I liked Andor, but once we got off the planet, then it took off. That's all I'm saying.
I feel you. Like I look, you know me. I love the war. I love the war and Star Wars. So I'm looking forward to those things. Also, I think that at Star Wars convention in Japan that just took place, the Ryan Gosling Starfighter, which is now going to be done by it's no longer being done by Wonder Woman lady anymore. She's not doing the Starfighter. She's not doing it. They kicked her out. Someone else is doing Starfighter. The Mandalorian and Grogu, some of the first images of that look really, really dope. And they are dropping a Darth Maul.
Is it because she's sick, right? Isn't it because she's sick?
Look, you know what? I don't care if she's sick. I don't care if her puppy just died and she can't be around Starfighters anymore. She needs not have anything to do with anything that I'm trying to watch.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about Gal Gadot? Or are we talking about the producer?
I'm talking about the lady who was going to do it. Patty Jenkins. Yeah.
Never mind.
Patty needs not touch anything that I want to see. Patty needs not touch anything.
She gets nothing after that Wonder Woman 82, 84.
She gets no more of my time.
We don't talk about that movie here.
Yeah. But I thank you all for coming back. I thank you all for being patient. And I know anyone looking at our feed, you probably have seen that there are several episodes that have been taken out. Just let you know that there is some new clause with iHeart where we cannot include music and things like that in podcasts. I believe maybe we dropped trailers that had music in certain episodes and things like that. So a lot of that stuff was deleted because of that. Because I know some folks hit me like, yo, what happened to all these episodes? We lost 60 episodes because they went through just cleaning the house. Yeah, they went through and cleaned house because of the inclusion of music in specific episodes. So, we're going to try to keep our episodes as music free as humanly possible moving forward. Because, that's just what they do now. That's how it goes down. So definitely want to make sure that y'all knew about that. And hopefully, y'all join us for some Thunderbolting. And with that, Dr. Liz, take us out.
Good night, Seattle.
McBain.
How about old Foggy? You get life?
Tom.
Where is my ethnographically accurate vampire slayer suit?
Mo Kelly.
Multipass.
I love it. Excelsior.